Which it is funny though to me that I get that they're different, that you don't love mint, but when I asked your wife what a good dessert for your birthday would be, she told me key lime pie. They're kind of close.
How? What? No.
Well, they're
They're
both
both
green
green.
and sweet.
One is mint, one is lime. One is citrus, one is mint.
I feel like they're like neighbors, like they're neighboring flavors.
No.
Hey, I'm Brian.
And I'm Scott.
And this is the Two Old Fashions podcast where two friends get together and have conversations over cocktails. How you doing tonight, Scott?
Well, I feel like it's a reoccurring theme on this podcast. It's like every other episode, but I'm freaking tired today. I did not sleep last night.
All right. Well, we had a big weekend. We had the Kentucky Derby party. You had your birthday. You had a big day today. But walk me through it. What were the highlights? What are the lowlights?
Well, it was a good weekend. I mean, your party was a lot of fun. Yesterday I had a very low-key birthday. That's all I wanted to do was just kind of relax, and basically did that. Just had a really long day at work today, and I did not get that much sleep last night. Last night I had one of those nights where I knew I needed to get a lot of sleep because I had a big day at work today. So went to sleep early, did the responsible thing, and then proceeded to lay in bed for a number of hours just thinking about how I need to go to sleep, and the sleep just never came.
Yikes. Wow.
So it was a long one. I'm tired. I gotta shape up though, because I feel like I've been whining about being tired again, seemingly every episode these days.
I mean, it could be your old age. It could be the party on Saturday. We can get into both of those, but as always, what are you drinking?
Well, I do have some birthday news. I did get some new syrups and bitters for my birthday. My wife got me some syrups and bitters. So, stuck with the Woodford as my base. One of the syrups that she got me was just called Old Fashioned Syrup.
Love that. Simple.
So I went with that. And then some Apple Blossom Bitters.
Ooh, 'tis the season.
'Tis the season. But if I'm being honest, if we can just get real for a second here.
We can. We should. We will.
I was really close to pouring a fake drink tonight. I really was close to pouring apple juice. We didn't have any apple juice. But that's how I'm feeling. But no, this is real. I did it. I'm committed. And as always, it's a double.
All right. If you're going to go for it, you might as well go big.
What are you drinking?
So I just made a very, very fast old fashioned. I'm calling it the getaway car, and maybe that will make sense later in the episode. But I went with the new Willet 4-year small batch product. Just a little bit of bitters. I had to make some new simple syrup because we went through every single ounce of simple syrup I had this weekend with the juleps and the after party and all the shenanigans. So I made that this afternoon, and then just, little aromatic and a little orange bitters, and here we are.
Nice.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So I thought it was a good party. We get lucky. We got the perfect weather. It was good enough that we could be outside. Kids were out there. I thought we had a great crowd. People dressed up. Everybody brought really, really good food. The drinks were flowing. I had some of my own mint. I bought some backup mint. And I thought it was great. The race was phenomenal. I do think, like, the way they show it in real time, it's hard to see how amazing what Golden Tempo did, coming from the very last place to very first, had the first female trainer victory in Kentucky Derby history. So I just thought it was an epic little Saturday.
Yeah, I missed I watched the race, but I missed like the whole story of Golden Tempo because I put my $5 on Renegade, which lost by very close.
Yes.
I guess Renegade was coming from behind as well. So like that was exciting. I thought he was going to pull it off. Yep. But watching the replays, it was very exciting. Good race. I did make, I think, 1 or 2 mint juleps, as I promised to do last week. Yep.
Still not a fan of mint.
Well, I only put a little bit of mint in, if I'm being honest, but I think I did at least 1 sprig, 1 leaf of mint in each one. I did have trouble muddling the mint. The first time I tried muddling the mint, I broke the plastic cup in half.
Yep.
So that's rookie mistake.
Well, I mean, that's where, it would be nice if I had little metal chalices or julep cups for all of our guests.
I couldn't say anything.
I just don't. But... Yeah. if somebody wants to make that happen, that would be great. But yeah,
Yeah.
the plastic clear cups are not the best for that. But I also didn't feel like running 50 of these through the dishwasher
Mhm.
either.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But now I can say I've had a mint julep.
Yeah. You may never do it again, but you've
May
done it
never.
once.
I'll do it next year. Next year.
Which it is funny though to me that I get that they're different, that you don't love mint, but when I asked your wife what a good dessert for your birthday would be, she told me key lime pie. They're kind of close.
How? What? No.
No, they're
They're
both
both
green
green.
and sweet.
One is mint, one is lime. One is citrus, one is mint.
I feel like they're like neighbors, like they're neighboring flavors.
No.
All
We need to
right.
put this up. We need to put this up for
Yeah.
a poll.
Next time we have a restaurateur or chef on, we will ask them to
Yes.
define mint versus lime for
Or any
us.
of our listeners, feel free to jump in the comments.
Not true.
But yes, thank you. Brian was very nice. He surprised me with a key lime pie at the end of the party. Key lime pie being one of my favorite desserts. Just really quick, off the top of your head, if you're at a steakhouse, have we talked about this? I think steakhouses,
Yes.
we have talked about this.
But yeah, we should talk about it again because the theory was mind blowing to me.
It's ice cream sundae, it's key lime pie, and it's like a peanut butter cake. And I feel like those are the only three acceptable desserts at a steakhouse.
Yeah, and I thought often they're known for having good cheesecake.
Well,
So
cheesecakes, yeah. I mean, that's always so heavy, though, right? Like
yeah,
after having a big steak.
yeah. I'm not honestly like it's surprising. I enjoy my drinks. Maybe we talked about this. I would rather have a nice after dinner drink
Yeah.
than a dessert. But if I'm gonna go dessert, I want the ice cream on top of a cookie or a brownie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
Yeah,
want.
definitely a cookie. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So did you get additional desserts for your actual low key birthday the next day?
So I did ask for ice cream sundae and make your own ice cream sundae bar, and we had it. But actually, something I got into very recently was an affogato. Do you know what an affogato is?
I have no idea. I would guess it's a coffee thing, but I don't
It
know.
is. It's
Ooh,
a
all
scoop of
right.
vanilla ice cream with some espresso poured over it.
Ooh.
So actually, I decided yesterday, this might have been one of the reasons why I couldn't sleep, but
I,
it
I
was
was
still,
gonna say, I feel like this is gonna portend to your later issues.
we did lunch dessert. So it was like 1 o'clock. And
Okay.
instead of doing an ice cream sundae, I did an affogato. And it was really, really good. Really, really good.
I'm glad that worked out. You should have had one of those this morning before your 9 hours in a conference room, and maybe you would have been okay.
I definitely had plenty of caffeine this morning.
All right. Nice.
Definitely did.
All right. Well, last show you introduced a new topic for us, an
Yes.
album of the week, or did you have a more clever name for it? I can't remember.
I had a couple names. None of them were clever. And I don't think any of them were final. So, album of the week works for me, at
All
least
right.
for right now.
One of our listeners wants to come up with something better. That would be great.
Please do.
I got kind of put on the spot last time, and I just kind of looked around and I said, you know what? We're talking about Kentucky Derby, Sturgill Simpson. I
Yeah.
think he's from Kentucky. So I came up with Sturgill Simpson, Cutting Grass, Volume 1, The Butcher Shop Sessions. And, you know, I enjoy Sturgill Simpson. I think I probably enjoy him more than most. I think his career has been fascinating. He's had a, like, outlaw country album that actually was nominated for Grammy Album of the Year, ended up winning Country Album of the Year. He's had an album that was very much like based on an anime show, and it had a Netflix movie that went with it. It was like very dark
Really?
and beat heavy. Yeah, so this guy's done a bunch of different things. He now operates under the name of Johnny Bluegrass
Really?
or Johnny Blue Sky. Yeah, one of the two. So he's got like a whole nom de plume. Then he's touring as that this year. So he's just a fascinating guy.
I don't know
This
any of these.
particular
Okay.
album came out in 2020, and it was after he had contracted COVID and his stadium shows had gotten cut short. And what he did, went into this studio with a bunch of bluegrass musicians and did covers of himself. These are all songs that were on previous Sturgill Simpson albums. I know.
Wait, really?
Shocking. Yep.
Is it like, are those his greatest hits? Is it like reimagined greatest hits? I know
So
nothing about Sturgill Simpson.
yeah, so I did look this up. He called it a mixtape for the fans. So basically, reimagining his old songs. Some are hits, some are not, some are B-sides. And then he did it again, and there's a second album, different sessions. This one's called the Butcher Shop Sessions. Butcher Shop was the name of the recording studio. So their album's about 20 songs, under an
Yeah.
hour. Everything's like 4 or 5 minutes. But yeah, I think it's really good. It's not
I
something that's got bangers, but it's something great to listen to.
I would listen to it now maybe 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
since we decided to listen to it. I knew nothing about Sturgill Simpson. Everything I know about Sturgill Simpson is what you just said in the past 3 minutes because I didn't even take the time to Wikipedia him.
Great.
Had no idea those were covers. I thought that was just the type of music he played. Honestly, my biggest criticism of that album is the fact that the tracks are in alphabetical order. And I feel like I can't differentiate between the songs because they're in alphabetical order. And I know that makes no sense, but that's what I keep going back to. And knowing now that they're all covers and he's just putting them in alphabetical order for that reason, that makes a little bit more sense.
I had no idea, or I'd never noticed it was in alphabetical order. I'm looking at the album now, and you're absolutely correct.
It is a very enjoyable listen. I like don't even know what my favorite song is because they all kind of sound the same. There was one I was driving home from work today and I said, you know what, this one might be my favorite. And I'm drawing a blank on the name. What's like it's in the middle. It's like number 10. It's a longish name.
Oh, okay. I think Life Ain't Fair and the World Is Mean.
That's the one.
Yep.
I really like that one.
Yeah, that one, I think when I looked up on Spotify, it had the second or third most listens from the album. And we talked about this in the context of the greatest albums. And I think kind of when these things come out matters, right? And so this
Mhm.
came out in the fall of the pandemic. And I think kind of that song probably resonated, right? Life
Yeah.
Ain't Fair and the World Is Mean. So I get that. And it's a great song.
It's got the call and response like a good old fashioned country or bluegrass, which I
Hmm.
really liked. Now I need to go back and listen to the real versions of these songs. So
I
like
know.
how
So
different are they?
I would say some are significantly different. I was hoping, and maybe we should just do this for our listeners, that somebody would have gone on Spotify and built this as a playlist with the originals, and I was going to listen to it all the way
Yeah.
through. Nobody's done it, but we should do that.
I mean, I might listen to it on the way home from work tomorrow.
There you
I'll
go.
do that. Well, I mean, someone must have done this, right? This has to exist.
At least not on Spotify.
Well, I have Apple, and Apple is far superior to Spotify, so
Ooh, fighting words.
fingers crossed. At
Yeah,
least on YouTube. Someone's put it on YouTube.
yeah. I mean, like I did that. Remember when we went to that Isbell show? I went through and made a playlist that recreated the set list, and
Oh, I didn't know you did that. You did that?
when we saw him, he was solo acoustic, so it's like very different when you listen to the other versions. But I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I like it. I'm now very much intrigued. If I was going to listen to just a regular Sturgill album, which one would you recommend?
So I think I would go for the one that won the Grammy. I'm going to get the name wrong, but it's something like Metaphysical Trip Around the World or something. It's
Okay.
got like a very artsy cover. And then the new Johnny Blue Skies is pretty good. It's a little dark. It's more hard rock.
Is he, when we saw Eric Church earlier this year, we had a conversation that like Eric is, what was it, like Renegade Cowboy or something?
Outlaw country.
Outlaw Country. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was. Versus Pop Country. Is he more Sturgill? Is he Outlaw Country?
Yes, definitely more in that than like a Florida Georgia
Okay.
line or
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have an album for you and our listeners to listen to, but I'm going to
Ooh.
wait till the end.
I was gonna say, let's hold till the end.
Yes.
Because what we want to talk about today, we're gonna do another music episode, but hold on, dear listeners. I think we're gonna do better this time. So instead of looking at the Rolling Stone top 50 albums, New York Times actually recently released a list of the top 30 living American songwriters. So this list includes Jay-Z, Lucinda Williams, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, Dolly Parton, Fiona Apple, Springsteen, Babyface, Bob Dylan, Kendrick Lamar, Willie Nelson, Mariah Carey, and Outkast. There's some others on there, but it's a pretty eclectic list. There's
Yeah.
a couple notable exceptions. Jason Isbell, who Scott and I both love, not on the
He
list.
should
He
be,
did
he
get,
should be on the list. He really should be on the list.
I agree, he was on 2 ballots,
Yeah.
so he was at least mentioned. Howie Day, 0 ballots.
Man, I'm shocked. I'm
I am
shocked.
shocked too.
Yeah.
Dave Matthews, I am personally offended that he was not
Mm.
on a single ballot. I think he's very underrated as a songwriter.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people love Dave, obviously, and he's very talented, and I'm not trying to knock Dave at all.
Mhm.
So, all the Dave fans, don't cancel me. We're going to get back to that. But I did think about it. Like, I don't ever really recall him being in the conversation of like a great songwriter.
No,
Do you, I mean, like, is that I'm just in my bubble, or
no, I don't. He's not, and I don't get why.
yeah,
I think especially when you look at like Before These Crowded Streets and some of the earlier stuff, some of the songwriting on that, I think. I mean, it's obviously been impactful to my life, but I guess
hmm,
not for everybody. Although, yeah, fun story. So last week was actually the 30th anniversary of the day Crash came out, the album, which happened to be my first Dave show. So I was in seventh grade. I
okay,
went to Plan 9, the local Richmond record store, and bought 2 tickets for the lawn. They came with the free version of the CD, and I asked this girl to go with me, to this concert, and thought this was gonna be great. Like a bunch of our friends were gonna be on the lawn, and like my dad picks us up, and like we're listening to the album. There's one song on it called "Say Goodbye," which is about like a one night stand, which was just happened to be playing as she got in the car, which just seems very inappropriate for seventh graders. But then we get to the concert. They had an opener, and everybody's hanging out. And then, like some of these kids, they start smoking cigarettes. Scott,
uh
and
oh.
seventh grade Brian thought that was pretty much the worst thing you could do in the world. I was so uncomfortable.
I mean, almost 40-year-old Scott agrees it's still the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. So, went on to I enjoyed the concert. It was great. I actually didn't know as many of the songs because had never seen them live, obviously, and just had
Mhm.
like Under the Table and Previous and Crash had a bunch of new songs. But they later released it as one of their live tracks, and it's a great one. So that was my fun fact from last week. But yeah, I
And
think he's underrated as a songwriter.
I'll
Lyrics
continue on your
and
tangent. I did see that Dave just started his tour this weekend,
hmm
I think, and it was a festival. And I looked
yep,
at the set list and I knew like 95% of the songs. So the fear that I had about seeing him the last night of Ocean's Calling is alleviated somewhat because you were right, right? He does cater to the crowd.
yeah, they have a festival list that's pretty
It looked pretty good.
radio
We'll
song
have fun at
heavy.
that show.
And then they brought out Saint Vincent for both
Yeah.
a rarity from their catalog and then Burning Down the House. So like, rarity and a cover.
Yeah.
But I digress a little bit on my Dave Matthews tangent. I thank you for following me. What we wanted to talk about tonight though
Wait,
is
on this list, are we still talking about this list of songwriters?
well, I was gonna go back to it, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Continue.
Because
Sorry.
the person that we're all here to talk about
But
tonight.
there were five. I just wanted to like do one more thing on this list, and I've seen a lot of discussion about this list over the past week or so since it's come out, and I feel like the biggest snub. There are two big snubs that people are talking about: Stevie Nicks and Billy Joel.
Okay.
And from what I've read, that's like the consensus two biggest snubs. And I don't know that much about Stevie Nicks. I mean, I know the big Fleetwood Mac songs. We talked about that on the Rolling Stones list episode. Billy Joel, I mean, I feel like there's no question. He has so many good songs. And if you compare his catalog to some of the others that made that list, I don't see how he didn't make the list. But I'm going to throw out three other names that I was honestly surprised did not make the list. And I want to
Okay.
get your take on it. Number one, Trent Reznor.
Uh I oh, that's tough. I was never a huge Nine Inch Nails fan.
I'm not either.
Um,
I'm not either.
So that's hard. I mean, honestly, like I know we've flirted with talking about covers. Like the Johnny Cash version of "Hurt" is incredible. So yes, like
Yeah.
that's a great song. I know he did the Social Network soundtrack, and that got rave reviews. So like I could see the case. He wouldn't have been on my list, but I see the case.
Yeah. I mean, he's just so prolific. And yeah, now he does soundtracks. I mean, he's won a number of Oscars, I believe, for his soundtrack work. And his scores are not just soundtracks, it's scores.
Mhm.
Um, I just thought that he was somebody that like probably should have been considered because he's so like his catalog is so broad.
Yeah.
Brandy Carlisle.
Hmm.
I'm a big Brandy fan,
Okay.
and I feel like she has been the like one of the it girls, or not it girls, but just like one of the it stars, pop stars.
Yeah.
of the past few years. I was surprised that she didn't make the list. I feel like she writes a lot of socially relevant music,
Yep.
and I was really surprised that she didn't make the list. And then the third name that I'm going to throw out, I don't even know if you know who she is, but Natalie Hemby, I think I'm saying her
Mm-mm.
last name right.
Nah.
She is a songwriter. She's not a, I think she might have her own songs too, but like she is a songwriter and she's won a ton of Grammys for writing awesome country songs. And if you look at her Wikipedia page, it's just like, oh, I know that song. I know that song. I know that song. I know that song. And the Grammy, 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 Grammy. And I don't know. I was just surprised that um, the list leaned very like pop heavy, I guess. I was also kind of confused. Like, top 30 living songwriters. How is Outkast? Outkast is two people.
Mhm. Oh,
That
that's
should
true.
take up two spots,
I
not
was gonna
one
say,
spot.
did it count as two spots?
Like, that's weird, right? And especially because it's Outkast. Outkast, they stopped writing songs together 25 years ago. They just write their own songs now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like
Well, I
all
did
these
listen.
lists, right? They're just topics to have fights while you're having an old
So the
fashioned.
Times did have a podcast about it today,
Oh, did
or
they?
over the weekend. Yeah, and so Billy Joel definitely came up because Michael Barbaro, who did it, was asking everybody like how Billy Joel didn't make it. I don't think you're gonna love this answer, but they said he was a little bit too schmaltzy, which I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I know what that means, but I don't know what that means. If you're listening to the American Songbook, how many songs does he have? He has so many classics.
Yeah. And they said it was like they wanted everything from like good songwriting to things that would get played at weddings and bar mitzvahs and all that. So they had a wide aperture on it. The other one was in relation to your country writer. They do have, I think, a group of three that are just kind of a room that do and have done a lot of the country songs. So
Okay.
that genre did get represented, but
Okay.
by a different trio.
I liked the Fiona Apple call out. I think she's
Okay.
amazing.
Interesting. Yeah, I
I,
never
I
really
was
got into
surprised to
her.
see her name there, but I agree with it.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, we know who else is on the list.
Well, the number one,
Well, I don't think they ranked them, did they? I know it's number one in your mind.
they didn't have to rank them. It's obvious. I have been saying this for years that Taylor Swift is the greatest songwriter, pop star, musician, what have you, of our generation. She is the Beatles of today. And I will fight anyone that argues otherwise.
I think I've seen you do it.
And, you, you just you have to broaden your mind. First of all, there's the inherent sexism, I think, where people are like, oh, she's just a pop star, a teen girl that got famous because of her looks and whatever people are writing her songs for. No, that's not true. If you listen to her catalog, she writes amazing songs, and they're not all pop songs. She has a very broad, um, she writes music in all different genres, and you have to just actually give it a listen to appreciate it.
So you are a self-declared Swiftie. I would consider myself a,
Yes.
pretty much Swiftie. I don't follow the Easter eggs. Like, I get the albums. I enjoy them. Sometimes I'll look up what they're about, like a car ride down to Richmond with my wife. Be like, oh, what's that song about? Blah blah blah. But you've seen her live a couple times. You are
One time.
hardcore.
One time.
One time, okay.
We saw her
Um,
on the Eras tour.
but when did this start? When did you really go deep down the Swifty
Yeah.
rabbit hole?
I mean, I always appreciated her singles, right? Like back, I think I was living in Atlanta still when she broke out with Our Song and Teardrops on My Guitar. And
Mhm.
I was always kind of into those songs. And then there were other singles that, one of my favorite memories, I was at one of my best friends' rehearsal dinners. And it was the end of the night. The DJ stopped. This was an Indian couple, Indian wedding. It was an Indian rehearsal dinner. So it was basically a wedding, even though it was the night before the
Yeah.
wedding. They had a dance floor and a DJ, and he leaves, and there must have been 25-year-old dudes, me being one of them, and we're all on the dance floor, and we just spontaneously break out singing love song to
Okay.
them. And I don't know, I've just always appreciated her songwriting. But again, pandemic, right? I talked about it in another episode. She put out Folklore out of the blue in, I think it was May of 2020, and it got these rave reviews. And I'm sitting around the house doing nothing. I was playing golf, shooting golf balls in my garage, basically. And I was like, let's listen to this album. And I was blown away by the songwriting because that is her least pop album.
Mhm.
It is a alternative album. I'm a big alternative music fan, and it's just fantastic. And so yeah, that's what got me into it. And then I just started going back through and realizing, oh my gosh, she is actually a really fantastic songwriter.
Well, as part of this project, they did a pretty extensive interview with her. I've watched it
Yeah.
twice. And it's interesting you mentioned kind of the folklore, and one of the things that struck me about it was how she said she was into emo music and like took a lot from that, and then knowing what other kind of music you enjoy, like that kind of tracks. Did you kind of make that connection yourself as well?
I don't think so. I think it
Okay.
was more the singer songwriter, like guy with the guitar, that I kind of I like equated to what she was putting out there. But it's obvious now, right? I saw the same interview you did, and it all makes sense. And a lot of her lyrics, a lot of the bridges that she writes, I think she is one of the best writers of a bridge, a song bridge there is. Um, it all makes sense, and it all kind of tracks back to what she talked about Fall Out Boy and Dashboard Confessional, and I
Hmm.
loved Dashboard Confessional, right? So yeah, the emo part of me, maybe she was tugging at that, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah. So the bridge part, like for those of us that are less musically schooled, what is a bridge?
Well, you know,
In
a
music,
song has a
not
verse, a
not over
chorus,
the
a
river.
verse, a chorus, and then there's that part where it goes in a different way, usually after that second chorus. And what Taylor's famous for, she calls it, what'd she call it, a rambling bridge or something like
A
that?
rage bridge.
A rage bridge, where she just tries to fit as many words as she possibly can into a musical stanza. And it's almost always the best part of the song. I would say of all my favorite Taylor Swift songs, they all have amazing bridges. It's almost like a hook, but it's not a hook. It's just it's something that really sticks out. Like, oh my gosh, how did she fit that whole soliloquy in the song? She's very talented. I don't know if
So I
you could
guess like
tell. I mean,
a physical bridge gets you from one place to the other. Is
yeah,
that the same with a musical? It's like it's a
I think so.
transitional
I think
part.
so. Probably
Okay.
that's probably how it got its name.
All right. I like that. All right. So you got real into it in folklore. You'd like followed her along, and then you went back. Like what kind of struck you once you did kind of your deeper dive into less so the fandom, but more
Yeah,
the artistry behind it.
it's just every. So I had this conversation with somebody probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago, or something, where they were kind of saying, you know, Taylor Swift, she just writes like silly little pop songs. Anyone can do that. And my argument was like, if anyone could do that, everyone would do that, right? Like, no, she writes really smart lyrics, and they're so catchy, they get stuck in your head. And especially like the Folklore and Evermore, which was her other pandemic album, they're very acoustic guitar heavy, so they were really fun. I played guitar. It's really fun to just play guitar to those songs. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know what it was, but it is a phenomenon also that like guys in their late 30s, early 40s like become obsessed with Taylor Swift. It's like a thing. I don't know if you know this. I mean, you know this because you're in the same boat I'm in.
I mean, I'm in the boat next to your boat, but yeah, I appreciate. I mean, I didn't go to the Eras tour, but went to 1989, and
Yeah.
she put on a phenomenal show. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been tracking her career since the beginning. Similarly remember when Self-Titled came out and Teardrops and Tim McGraw, and just thinking like, this is good music. I enjoy it. I find myself like pop, rock, country, and it kind of didn't feel too twangy country. It obviously has evolved, and she's moved very much out of that genre. But I
Yeah.
just think, it's been a cool career to track. And I don't disagree with you when you say like she's certainly the biggest artist of our generation for kind of our cohort.
I think it's Elvis, Beatles, Michael Jackson, Taylor Swift. Like those are the Mount Rushmore of music.
Hmm.
Not my Mount Rushmore, but like that is the Mount Rushmore of music as we know it. That's
Yeah.
what I would say.
Should get ChatGPT to make that for you. Be a good picture.
That'll be the cover of this episode.
There you go.
But
Um,
you go. Have you ever seen her tiny desk?
I have. Yep.
It's just her and a guitar, and you see the
Hmm.
talent, right? She's headbanging along to the songs that she's just pounding away on the guitar. She has a live album. I think it's called Live in Paris or something like that. Again, it's just her and her acoustic guitar. It's on YouTube, and you see her just like really into it. And I felt like when I saw that for the first time, I felt like there was no other female artist that did that. Like maybe Miley Cyrus, like maybe Miley, but I don't think Miley writes as good a songs as Taylor does. And Taylor's so prolific, right? She's putting out at least one album a year, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
So I think
unbelievable.
some of the detractors, right, might say, yes, there was a whole thing about, anybody could write these songs or she's not doing it. She obviously has proven that she is the writer and the auteur behind these. I think another one is that, she would just kind of juice up her personal life to make interesting songs. She in the interview talked a lot about kind of like taking detractors or people that were trying to put her down and taking that energy and putting it into songs. So just curious kind of what your thought is on kind of the pop culture of it all. Does it add to, distract from, or not matter?
Probably all of the above. So I would say my least favorite part about Taylor Swift and being a Taylor Swift fan is how capitalistic she is. She's always trying to make a buck. And for somebody like her, who has all the bucks in the world, give it a rest. Right? Like
We
you
don't.
don't need to sell 30 different variants of your latest album because every single one of your diehard fans is going to buy one of those variants. And she's been doing this, maybe was it 1989? I just remember this was before I was a real fan, but I remember being at work talking to some of my colleagues who were trying to go see her. Again, I think it was 1989. And based off of the amount of merch that you bought, you were like put in a tier, and that tier level was like how you got tickets.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like that's obnoxious. So it wouldn't surprise me if she's trying to build up her personal drama
Yeah.
because she knows it gets her in the tabloids, which gets her more press. But I can see past that and I can just focus on the music.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, I know I've bought vinyls. We've each gone to concerts, but I get it. I guess, yes. I remember we were texting back and forth like, oh, what color vinyl is coming out this week that she's going to try to add
There's a
extra
countdown on
cost
her
to?
website every other day, and it's just a new limited release vinyl with, one extra song.
Yeah.
And then
But
tomorrow it'll be a different song.
at the same time, I
Obnoxious.
don't totally, everybody can make their money how they want. I do think the way that the record industry has gone with streaming, I mean, I feel like artists make most of their money on tours and merch at this point,
Yeah.
right? So don't hate on that too much. But
Yeah.
I think where I was going with it is, and we can kind of talk maybe about, New York Times top 5 songs versus ours. One of mine is All Too Well, the 10-minute version, obviously. Like, I just think that is really well crafted. It's really interesting. It's got a lot of emotion. My girls that are 6, like, love it. But at the same time, like, I'm a little distracted every time because I know it's about this other celebrity that she was dating whose celebrity sister has the red scarf. And, like, so I don't know why, but, like, that, it takes away from the experience for me a little bit. Again, I still love it.
Yeah.
It's still top 5, but I
Is
do have
it the
trouble
regular
separating them.
version that's top five, or is it the 10-minute version
What's
that's
that?
top? Are you a fan of the regular, like 3-minute version of the song, or the 10-minute version?
I like the 10-minute.
Okay, 10 minutes.
Yeah. I even like the 10-minute Sad Girl remix from like the Pond sessions. I think that one's
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So what are your other top four? Lay them on me really fast.
let's
Now
see.
I
Okay,
want to
so
really dig into this.
let's go through the Times list first. So they said our song 15, Love Story, Dear John, and Mirror Ball. I think Our
Hmm.
Song and Love Story both deserve to be on there.
Yeah.
I have no clue why they thought Dear John was worth including.
This
Mirror
is New
Ball,
York Times is they think these are her five best songs.
they're her five essential.
Interesting. Mirror
Yeah.
Ball is essential. Okay.
Yeah. And same with 15. I would sub in All Too Well 10-minute version. I really like Getaway Car, hence the
Me
drink.
too. Me too.
And then this is a random one, but I really love New Year's Day. Just it's
That's my
so
wife's favorite song.
simple. It's on the piano, and it just reminds me of that feeling, like waking up on a New Year's Day with somebody you
Yeah.
love, and like cleaning up from the party the night before, and just being like, "All right, we got a new year, let's go."
That is my wife's favorite Taylor Swift song. Um, that's funny. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right,
I'm
what
going
are
to throw a
yours?
few at you. So, Getaway
Yep,
Car, I think, is my favorite Taylor Swift song of all time. I
nice.
think
Okay,
that is a like top class pop song with a killer bridge. Right? We're talking about bridges again.
yep.
Death by a Thousand Cuts. You know that one?
Mm-hmm.
Killer. Cornelia Street.
Okay.
Killer. Um, even there's a song called "Cowboy Like Me." It's just like really good. "Cowboy Like Me's on Evermore.
Okay.
Evermore, by the way, that song Evermore is like the prettiest song I've ever heard.
Really?
I think Evermore is a fantastic song. She writes so many good songs. I could talk about this for hours.
I
I
know.
think all of our fans have turned off this podcast.
I don't know. I know you've wanted to do this for a while. I thought it'd be
They're kind
interesting. I think a couple of the people I know are very excited to listen to your thoughts on Taylor. So,
there is we've played this, you and I, but on YouTube, a number of people have made Taylor Swift Power Hours. I would say there's probably 6 or 7 on YouTube. And I've played with non-Swifties, banger or not banger, where
hmm
every single, you get, a 1 minute clip of every single song, 60 songs. It's a power hour. And you have to decide if that song that's playing in that minute is a banger or not banger. And even non-Swifties, it usually comes out to about 50 bangers, 10 not bangers. For
yeah.
me, it's like 57 are bangers. So if anyone is like, dying to get a very broad exposure to Taylor Swift's entire catalog, that's what I would recommend doing.
And they could just drink apple juice with it.
If they're having a day like me, yeah. Although I'm feeling much better, I'm feeling much better after this drink.
Oh, good. Well, I do think I was just going to bring it kind of full circle. So, as we're kind of wrapping up, and I know you're going to do our album of the week for next week, but I do think it's interesting. We both mentioned the song Getaway Car. And one
Yeah,
of the lines in that is, I knew from that first old fashioned we were cursed. So, here
I
we
know.
are.
And that's the other thing is everyone talks about how she's even before now. I feel like now she's a little bit more adult, but back then when that song came out, it was still like Taylor Swift is just a teeny bopper. But she was talking about mature themes,
Yeah,
like I don't know, drinking old fashions. How many pop songs are talking about drinking old fashions?
not enough.
She
Not
talks
enough.
about drinking whiskey a lot.
I found, well, myself and Claude found 5 references.
Um, this is me trying, right? That was on the list.
Yep.
That was one of the ones I thought about including in my top 5 songs. But I didn't
Yep.
drink the whiskey, or I didn't pour the whiskey is the lyric.
Pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
then
when I hear that song, I always think back to the scene I referenced in an earlier episode from Back to the Future, where they're drinking whiskey at the bar,
the shots.
the shots, and he has to run outside and like put his head in the trough. I always think about that
There you go.
from that lyric.
Just, the lyrics take you to somewhere else. And I guess that's what makes them special.
Yeah. So what am I going to listen to tomorrow when I drive to work? It's either going to be Sturgill or Taylor, because now you got me thinking about Taylor.
Well, what album are we going to talk about next
Well,
week?
yeah. So I do think that we should listen to a Taylor Swift album.
I think that makes
Since we're
sense.
talking about Taylor, and I was going to recommend that we listen to Folklore because
Okay.
that is the album that I said should have been in the top 10 of Rolling Stone's top 500 because of how impactful it was during COVID. Again, that's the album that she wrote in her bedroom. It wrote and recorded in her bedroom during the first couple months of COVID and didn't do any promotion. She just released it on a Friday. Apparently, she like finished the last song, I think, the Wednesday before she released it on Friday.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
like that last minute.
Wow.
But I'm assuming you've listened to Folklore. I know you have.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming a lot of our listeners have. If you haven't,
I've
I would
never
recommend it.
studied it though. I've just listened to it.
Well, so here's what I'll do. I'll give you an option. You can listen to Folklore if you want to.
Okay.
But what I was going to recommend is there is a version of Folklore called the Long Pond Sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's her, Jack Antonoff, who's one of her collaborators, and Aaron Dessner from The National, who was her collaborator on that album.
Mm-hmm.
The three of them got in a room and just played the album straight through.
Yeah.
And that's out there. You can listen to it. And it's a little bit more stripped down. I mean, the album itself is very stripped down, but it's a little bit more stripped down so you can really focus on the songwriting.
Okay.
So I was going to suggest listen to Folklore, the Long Pond Sessions. And if you go on to Spotify or Apple Music, I believe it's a double album. So you have to make sure you're just listening to the Long Pond Session versions, because you might actually get the real version. They're both fantastic, but if we're going to focus on songwriting, I think
Not
that's
gonna
what
hurt
we do.
anybody.
No.
All
Or you
right.
can watch it on Disney Plus. They do the whole performance on Disney Plus too. I won't make anyone do that.
Man, we got a lot of options.
I think my phone just is telling me that my heart rate. Yeah, it's telling me my heart rate is too high because I'm like too excited.
Well, we can't have that. We need you to sleep better tonight, okay?
I'm gonna go to sleep right after this.
All right. Well, this has been fun as always. We'll do our homework and we'll see you out there.
Can't wait.
Cheers.
Cheers.